Governor of Rivers State, Star Siminialayi Fubara, has invited the Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Martins Amaaewhule, to a meeting. This follows the governor's receipt of the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment on the political unrest in the state. The governor made this invitation in a letter from the Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tami Danagogo, addressed to Right Honorable Martins Amaaewhule as Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. The letter noted that the governor has scheduled the meeting for Monday at 10 a.m. at the Government House, Port Harcourt, to address all the lingering issues in the state. Danagogo in the letter noted that the governor received a CTC of the Supreme Court judgment on Friday and wants the meeting to discuss the presentation of the 2025 state budget and payment of all lawmakers' allowances. The letter read, "I hereby write in furtherance of His Excellency's promise stated in my letter dated 5th March 2025 to notify you that His Excellency has received the Supreme Court judgment and has therefore directed me to invite you and your colleagues, the honorable members of Rivers State House of Assembly, to a meeting to discuss provision of a befitting space for the Assembly sittings, payment of all outstanding remuneration or allowances of the honorable members, presentation of budget and sundry matters, any other matters as may be necessary to chart the way forward in the best interest of Rivers State. Sequel to the above, I hereby humbly invite the Right Honorable Speaker and all the Rivers State House of Assembly members to a meeting with the governor." Chizi, I'll start with you. What do you make of this development in Rivers State?
Yeah. You know, before now, the governor already said it, that upon receipt of the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment, he will implement it to the letter. And I think the governor have started. So there is even nothing much to discuss on this issue. Because the governor is a man who will always keep to his word, and he has been keeping to his word. So he have started with it. And what matters most is Rivers State. What matters is not even the law. What matters is Rivers people, because
what
the law
matters is not even the law.
Yes, what matters most is not even the law. What matters is the people. We need peace in Rivers State. Hence, the peaceful approach is, I think, what every reasonable person would resort to. And the approach to it, not that it's not the law, but the governor has deemed it necessary to come up with a peaceful resolution. Let's make peace, let's make amend while the governance continues. So, for me, the governor said there is nothing much to discuss. The governor has started implementing what he said. You know, prior before now, he has not recognized Martin Amaaewhule because of what transpired. But now that the Supreme Court said no, they are authentic members of Rivers State House of Assembly. Hence, you must deal with them. So he has started. So, starting by way of making peace, I think is the best thing any normal human being will do. The governor is not the governor for himself. He is the governor for the people. And if there is no peace, my dear sister, I don't know which way forward. But making peace, making amend, taking decisions that he ordinarily wouldn't have taken if not for the judgment of the Supreme Court, should make every reasonable Nigerian know that the governor truly knows that he's not governor for himself, but that he's governing the people. Hence, he has taken this approach. For us who are on his side, we are not part of that. It's not the best way. It is the best way, and we also think that if we follow this way, we will arrive at a just conclusion. Even Bible said, follow peace with all men. So the governor has commenced with peaceful approach.
All right,
so
very well.
We commend him for that.
But you said one statement. You made a statement that stood out for me, and I had to repeat it when you said it. When you said that what matters is not even the law, but the people of Rivers State. The people are a people governed by the law.
Yes.
Rivers State is a state created by the law. Everything around Rivers State exists as a function of the law. The governor is a governor because of the law that gave him powers to be the executive governor of Rivers State. So can he govern without the law? So when you say what matters is not the law, but the people of Rivers State, one would say, is it not this statement that gave rise to this crisis in the first instance?
Not at all.
When parties say the law is not important at this point. It is the people. I'm trying to even remove the people from this whole thing, because if the parties involved, I mean, all these players in this crisis obeyed the law in the first instance, we will not be where we are at this point in Rivers State. Don't you agree, Chizzy?
Okay, see, what I mean by Rivers people matters and not the law is that the law is an aberration. It's not against the law. Now we can come by way of implementing everything that is the law, but there is no good guidance. It will make nonsense of the whole thing. In fact, the governance and the approach will not be stable and steady. So the governor charting the way caused by first making peace. I said it earlier that trying to make peace does not mean it is an aberration to the law. But if I am the governor, I will implement the law and I will not make peace.
You implement the law and not make peace.
I will not make peace. Yes, implementing the law does not make you making peace. I may be quarreling with you while we are in the same office working. But the working relationship, if it is not in good tidings and there will be no trust in each of us, forget the implementation of the law.
So you think this move by the governor is to make peace?
It's even beyond what we expect.
Not necessarily implementing the law.
No, I said no.
You feel this move is more conciliatory in nature?
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Right.
And it is not also against the law. That's what I want you to understand. For the governor, this move is for him or for everybody to know that he have an open heart to
But this move actually, while it's not against the law, it is also not entrenched in the law, like in the sense that the assembly can choose to decline this invitation. They can choose to decline attending to this meeting, correct?
No, if they choose to decline attending to the invitation, that is their discretion. They can choose to, and it is not the law that the governor must invite them.
I wanted to establish that.
However, if you have your people at heart and you want peace in a state like Rivers State, why will you reject the reconciliatory move? And why won't you accept a peaceful move?
Okay, we'll look at the undertone surrounding this meeting and things that have played out prior to this invitation.
There is nothing more than what the governor has said. He has stated the essence of him inviting.
It's all right, Chizzy. We'll still delve further into this. I like to excavate issues, right? But we'll still delve further into this. But before then, Honorable Kingsley, what do you make of this development?
A lot. First, you see, this kind of Council of Ahithophel is one of the reasons for which the governor is deeply in the deep pit where he is right now. And I have told people that when you are in a very deep pit, the only solution to help you and stop going down is to stop digging. But in this case, it seems that the governor and his councils are still not ready to listen to the voice of wisdom and take the opportunities that the judgment of the Supreme Court has offered them. Why do I say this? You remember before now, there are a lot of things the governor have said against these assembly people. He said the laws, he called them small boys, people that dash money, I pay their children's school fees, people that do this. It is only me that will decide if they will stay or not. In fact, as it is today, they are gone. A lot of statements he made like that. And now the judgment has come in favor of the same people you made such derogatory statements on. I had thought that governor would have listened to the voice of wisdom and perhaps sit back to have a lot of thinkings. Perhaps those thoughts would have made him behave rightly and do the things that were right. That would have somehow, softened the hearts of these persons. Rather than doing that, first, when the Supreme Court decided that he was the governor of Rivers State, nobody waited for the certified true copy to make him the governor. A lot of judgments that had come, even apart from him, different persons, the moment Supreme Court gives a judgment, my learned friend is a lawyer, you understand that is arbiter of the court. And when he gives a judgment, that judgment stands. So the moment that happened, I had thought that the governor would have immediately swung into action. Rather, he surreptitiously, perhaps thinking that a lot of things would have been changed when the CTC would have come, he declined taking decisions of what the Supreme Court has said. That apart. Now, when he has received the certified true copy and he decided to do what he thinks in his own eyes were right, he wrote the assembly through the Secretary of Government. There are 3 tiers of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And when the governor wants to write to the judiciary, he will not write to the Secretary of Government. Especially when he wants to write to the Chief Judge of the state. He will write and sign it, append his own signature. When the governor wants to write to the Speaker of the Assembly, which is the leader, the head of another arm of the government, he is supposed to append his signature, write directly by himself. Instead of doing that, because my people say when you are trying to cure the eyes, you don't need to pour pepper again into the eyes. He wrote through the Secretary of Government on one hand. On the other hand, if you read that letter, the letter dated 7th of March, which was on Friday, and rather than passing through the normal process, assuming without conceding that we even agree that the letter had been written, and so we should allow it, even if it wasn't coming from the right source. That letter was sent to the social media on Sunday, the 9th of March. Does that mean that there were no...
Who sent it to the social media on Sunday?
The state government. This letter had not reached the State Assembly. None of the members of the Assembly had received of that letter, not even the Speaker. And the letter didn't pass anywhere other than the social media that we are reading that letter on the 9th, which was yesterday on Sunday. But the letter was dated 7th of March. Again, the meeting was scheduled for 10th, which is today, by 10 a.m. On the same 10th, 10 a.m., the governor will be at Obiakpo, commissioning the house of a traditional ruler that he built. The same time, the same day. So when you look at this same gimmick, the whole scenario, you notice that the man is not truthful to himself. He's not even ready for peace. My friend was talking about the peace, what's it called? The law doesn't matter. Thank God you tried to correct that impression. If you disobey the law, it means that the people that you are talking about won't even live. Disobedience to law is a call for anarchy. And when that call for anarchy comes, the people you say are more important will not live. And so why would you even disobey the law like the government is surreptitiously doing as it is today? We want peace because every Rivers man needs peace. If we have peace in Rivers State, there will be development, there will be progress. But when the governor is playing some antics against bringing or looking for peace in the state, I think it is wrong. He is the one who should need the peace now because the judgment is in the favor of those he called names, those he kept for over 1 year without salary, those he demolished their sitting, this thing and all that with impunity. And the law had come that he should sit down and look for real ways of getting peace. Rather than doing that, he's still not ready. Perhaps because of the kind of counsels like my brother Chidi just gave now. These counsels, I think, are the things that are troubling the governor. And unless he takes the right advice, which ultimately will lead him to the right decisions, we may not have the peace that we are all looking for. I am very confident that this assembly, ably led by Amaaewhule, are very peaceful people. Very peaceful in the sense that their programs for the past 1 year that they have been thrown away, abandoned, and even aspersions casted on them and all that, had even written to the governor on assumption of office, which the Supreme Court had given them the mandate. And the governor, rather than doing that, is doing the things I think are not right. For me, as a person, I think the governor needs to actually sit down to think twice about the things he's doing, because I need peace. My friend needs peace. Everybody needs peace, because it is that peace that will bring about the progress and development we all need in this state.
All right. First of all, when you were talking about, you were questioning the sincerity of purpose,
Yeah.
right, of the governor via the letter he wrote inviting the assembly to this meeting. You said that the governor had scheduled another event for the same day and time, you know, that he gave the lawmakers. The governor himself doesn't need to be present in that event, correct? A representative can go there on his behalf.
See, when the governor wants to make peace, peace should be seen to be open. You see, people have perceptions. Everybody's perception is different. You can have the perception that the governor may not be there. These other persons haven't been wounded over time. Looking at that schedule for the inauguration of that building, will see it like the governor is not sincere. Taking to the fact that he has already proven from all he's been doing from the day the judgment had come, that he's not sincere. He's not. If he was sincere, commissioners who were not officially screened and confirmed by the authentic assembly are going to court. On what ground are they even going to court? And approved by the governor. On what ground are they going to court?
Well, that is the next story, so I do not want us to
the truth that that's what I'm saying. If you put all these things cumulatively, you see a lot of things that are proven that the governor is not sincere at all. And we want him to be sincere. He's the governor of Rivers State. He should be sincere when it comes to making peace. Because if there is no peace here, he will first be the victim. So we need peace. He should be the one to pilot this peace that we need in Rivers State. With all he's doing, I think he's not sincere. My friend Chizzy knows he's not sincere.
All right. Now, talking about Chizzy, when you were speaking earlier, you talked about you said that the governor waited to receive the CTC of that judgment, and that was the right thing to do in face of the nature of crisis that we have in Rivers State. But then one would say, was the implementation not selective on the part of the governor, in the sense that you recall that in the wake of the Supreme Court judgment, the governor did give a state broadcast, and in that broadcast, he told Rivers people that he will wait, that he's a peace-loving man, and will wait for the CTC copy, and then study the implications of the judgment and await his legal team, their advice, but that he's assuring Rivers people that he was going to fully implement that. That was what he said in the state broadcast. Then in the same breath, in the same state broadcast, went ahead to implement a part of Supreme Court judgment without seeing the CTC copy of that Supreme Court judgment. And that is directing the local government chairman to hand over to heads of local government administration. And then also saying that, also in that statement, also directed for RISEC to plan local government elections. Now, these things were done in one statement. One statement in the same broadcast, if I may, in the same broadcast, saying he's going to wait for CTC to implement Supreme Court judgments. In the same broadcast, without receiving CTC copy, went ahead to implement a part of that Supreme Court judgment. What do you make of that?
Well, it's like I'm being confused over the reason for being here.
How do you mean?
Yes, it's like we are not discussing for the way forward, or we are not chatting.
In discussing the way forward, now you said you are, hold on, you said you are on the side of the governor. Apparently, from what Honorable Kingsley Amaaewhule is saying, Amaaewhule appears to be towing a different perspective from you. And they are saying the governor's position is not sincere. You are saying the governor's position is conciliatory. Now, he has raised certain points that can be swept under the carpet. When Kingsley Amaaewhule was speaking, he raised the question of the CTC copy and the governor moving ahead without it. And he said that in other cases where judgments have been made, nobody waited for CTC copy. I can cite the case of Celestine Ome here. I can cite the state of the governor in Bayelsa State that was removed by Supreme Court a day to his inauguration. I can go ahead to cite a lot of, even the governor has implemented without CTC. But the major issue is the fact that Rivers people, local government workers, Rivers civil servants will not receive salaries moving forward until this crisis is sorted out. Now, in face of this exigency, and governor implements one side, and the other side is not yet implemented, and his excuse is that he's waiting for CTC copy. And we are talking about Rivers people moving forward, like you have said. A part of Rivers people are feeling the governor is not sincere. You have to address that. We cannot gloss over issues and say it's all good. These are issues, like I said, we are going to excavate and talk about way forward. Don't you agree?
Why I asked that question, you see, when you appear in public like this and you're making statements of facts, you don't need to be pandering and rush prejudice.
Right.
Like my friend is talking, he said the government is not sincere, and for him the invitation is a no-no thing, but that they want peace. And he has even refused to tell you ways to which you can arrive at it. That's why I asked this question.
Okay.
In all he has said, to me he has said nothing that the people can
hold on to
say this is the way forward. In all the things he has said, even you here cannot even reduce to one fact that with this thing he has said, if the governor do this way. And even the question so far asked, what were the things said by the Supreme Court that have not been implemented by the governor? How has it been partly performed? The generality of the thing concerning local government is that local government is hereby the election that brought local government chairmen are invalidated. So even without a certified true copy, you would know that truly this is the position. Now, Martin Amaaewhule and others are duly elected members of the Rivers State Assembly. Since then till today, has governor make any statement in opposition to that? So how come he has partly implemented the judgment that he had not done for that? I want to know. See, let me tell you.
My question was, hold on, you have your second. Okay, you're asking a question I have asked you already. Okay, it's rhetorical. Go ahead.
You people are saying that he has partly implemented, he has partly not implemented. Will he implement all one day? What is even the judgment of the Supreme Court that Martin Amaaewhule and others are duly elected members of the Rivers State Assembly and Martin is the speaker? Has he not recognized Martin? Has he done anything with the Okojumbo-led assembly that you will say he partly has implemented? So you see, when people talk, they should talk with facts. And not because you are in opposition, you should be saying things that are not right. The governor said for local government administration, in as much as there are no elected officers and the Supreme Court has invalidated the election, hence the heads of local government should take over.
Did the governor see the CTC copy before making that directive?
Does the governor need to see the CTC
Why
copy?
does he need to see the CTC copy in other issues?
And like in which issue? I want to know why.
Hold on.
Yes.
I am telling you what the governor, and I'm sure, hold on, Chizzy. I'm sure you listened to that state broadcast, yes. And the governor said that he will implement Supreme Court judgment. Hold on. He will implement Supreme Court judgment when he has received the CTC copy and he, with his legal team, studied the implications of the judgment of the Supreme Court and is advised adequately by his legal team. Yeah. That was what he said in that state broadcast. That statement means implementation is paused until CTC copy is received, and I study the CTC copy and I'm advised accordingly. Then I assure Rivers people, the moment I am advised and I see the CTC copy, I'm going to implement. However, in the same broadcast, he implemented with immediate effect another got the same judgment, a part of, because it was a consolidated judgment. The issue pertaining to local government chairman and local government elections was implemented there and then in that state broadcast. In fact, the governor even said by Monday that the council chairman should hand over to the head of local government elections. And that the same week, that being last week, RISEC announced a date. These things were implemented without CTC copy being cited by the governor. And then the one that is the, one would say, the heavy one that directly, because I am blowing by your statement, you said this has to do with Rivers people. Now, the ones that directly affects Rivers people so seriously, and the workers in Rivers State, being the budget presentation, the governor is saying he has to wait to see the CTC copy. Issues around the legislature has to see the CTC copy. He has to see the CTC copy. Recall that this judgment is consolidated. One dealt with the legislative arm of government, and the other dealt with the local government councils. So, I think this is direct enough for you to answer at this point.
It's like you have refused to understand me. I just asked a very simple question. You have not even said anything about. Which part of the judgment that has not been implemented?
All right, Amaaewhule, you said I did not answer you. I have given you. I asked you a clear question, and I also gave you a clear explanation as well.
The judgment, the governor said, I will implement the judgment of the Supreme Court when I see the judgment copy, the certified true copy. And the governor started by way of, in as much as there is a decision that the local government election is invalidated, hand over to HLGA. Now again, the governor said, I will implement. I want to know the part he has not implemented. You're talking about issue of budget.
All right.
I'm coming. You're bringing issue of budget. The issue of budget, can the governor just wake up and send a budget today upon hearing that Supreme Court gave judgment yesterday? Is a no thing.